So, today I wanted to bring up the topic of self worth. And the reason why I think this is so important is because our self worth nearly influences every aspect of our daily lives. It's going to affect your relationships with other people. It's going to affect the way you view the world around you. It's going to affect the way you complete your schoolwork or your work, as a job. It's just going to affect every aspect of your life. So, for those of us who might wonder if we have a healthy sense of self worth, or maybe you know for sure that you're not, this podcast is for you. Your first task as someone who might be struggling with your self worth is to, one, acknowledge that you might be struggling with that, to be aware of it, and to want to make a change. That seems like a very easy step and maybe makes a lot of sense, but sometimes that is the hardest step because a lot of us want to deny or maybe not sit in the fact that we don't have the greatest self-image. So step number one, acknowledge that you're not where you want to be and make a decision to change that. The second step is, now that you know you want to make a change, you need to start thinking positively. Easier said than done always. But what I noticed when I work with people on their self-worth or self-image is if I say, okay, what are the things that you struggle with? What do you not like about yourself? They could probably fill an entire hour-long session with all the things they don't like about themselves. Now, when I also say, tell me the things you do like about yourself, a lot of times these people have trouble coming up with anything, maybe one or two things. And that is a challenge, right? That is where the problem lies. So your second step is really to sit down and make a list, and I would tell you of at least 20 things that you like about yourself. For my clients who struggle with this, I definitely want you to do this on your own. However, if you are really struggling and really have a low self-worth, you might be able to come up with 10 things and really just feel stuck. If you get to that point, I do recommend that maybe you reach out to family, friends, people you trust, and ask them, what positive qualities do you see in me? When you do that, at least you get some insight into how other people view you. And even though you might not see those things, they're okay to put on your list because chances are those are really good qualities of yours. You're just having a hard time recognizing it. So putting those on your list if you need help from other people is also okay. The third step, you're probably not going to like, but this is where I want you to take that list of 20 or more items, traits about yourself, and read it out loud as often as possible. At least twice a day. First thing in the morning, first thing or last thing at the end of the day. But the more you can read that out loud or say it to yourself, the more your brain is starting to follow suit and start to believe those things. Honestly, seems easier said than done, seems a little too simple, but it is true. If we say things over and over and over again, our brain does start to believe it. Think about why you created or became insecure. Why don't you have a good sense of self? Probably from childhood, probably from being bullied, probably from messages you heard from your parents or friends or family or experiences. So when you hear those things repeatedly over time, your brain gets used to hearing them and then your brain starts believing them. So we have to take it in the opposite direction. We take the good things that we know about ourselves or things that other people have helped contribute to that list, and you say it out loud. And bonus points if you're willing and able to share those lists with other people in your life. Sit down and say, this is part of me working on myself and trying to be better, and I want to share the list of positive traits that I feel like I have with you. Step number 4, look around you. Look at the environment that you're in and the people that you hang out with. Do those people lift you up or do they tear you down? If you are surrounding yourself with people who do not support you and who do not lift you up and tell you positive things about yourself or give you grace when you need it, those people might not be the people you want to hang out with. You might have to reestablish a friend group, a relationship, or just general people around you, if you can really acknowledge the fact that those people who you have been hanging out with have not been great in regards to how you feel about yourself. So do some hard thinking on this. This doesn't mean you have to have a friend group that is constantly lifting you up and you can do no wrong. It just means, do you have people around you that believe in you? And do you know that they believe in you? If not, you might need to add to your circle of friends and find those people who can be really great sources of support as you navigate becoming a better, healthier person. Step 5. This is going to seem easier said than done as well, but you've got to stop saying negative things to yourself. Get rid of those negative thoughts in your head. It goes back to what I was talking about before with the brain. The more we think negative, the more we see negative. So if every day I wake up, I look in the mirror and I'm like, man, I am disgusting. And then I go about my day and I look in the mirror and I say, I am disgusting. And I look in the mirror, and it's repeated, even if it's just once a day. That message is so solid in my brain that it's nearly impossible for me to take anyone's compliment. If they say, hey, you look really good today, I'm going to be like, okay, no, I don't. I'm disgusting, right? Because that self-talk has created such a strong connection in my brain that it's very hard for me to acknowledge that maybe I don't look disgusting. Maybe I'm not disgusting. So we have to really focus on our self-talk. What are you telling yourself on a daily basis? Are you saying, gosh, I can't do anything right? Or no one's ever going to want to be with me? Or I never do what I should do as a parent. I'm not a good parent. Everybody sees me failing. Whatever that self-talk is for you, you've got to pay attention to it and you have to start shifting the narrative. To me, and as I work with clients, the way you do that is 1, again, you're aware. I just said I was disgusting. And then 2, I'm going to stop that thought. I always tell my clients, picture a stop sign, stop the thought, and replace it with something positive. That doesn't mean I have to be like, I'm the most beautiful person ever. If I go straight from I'm disgusting to I'm amazing. But you can say, you know what? I love my eyes. I have pretty eyes. My hair looks good today. It could be anything, but you want to take that negative thought and override it with a positive. Every time you do that, you're taking yourself down that road of positive self-worth and positive self-image. Step 6, write some of those positive things about yourself and put them on Post-it notes around your house. I always recommend on the fridge, because obviously we see the fridge multiple times a day, maybe on your pantry door where your food is, on your bathroom mirror, and next to your bed. When you put on a Post-it note, I have a pretty smile, I have really nice hair, I have good friends, or whatever it is, the positive things on your list, and you put them around your house, every time you see it, I want you to either say it out loud or say it at least in your head. When you do that, you're making that active effort of really convincing your brain of the positive things that you do have and getting you to a place where that stays consistent within you. Okay, number 7. This might be hard for some of you. I know it was hard for me for a while, but this is opening yourself up to hearing positive things from other people. Sounds crazy. Why wouldn't you want to hear good things from other people? Which I think we do. But when you have a low sense of self-worth, you tend to take those compliments with a grain of salt. Because if my mind knows, based off what I've told myself for years, that I'm disgusting, and then someone says, actually, you're really amazing, or, I think you're beautiful, then my brain is like, okay, and I just, thanks. Or what we hear a lot of times with people like this is they might be like, thanks, I woke up today and I pulled my hair up and I feel disgusting. So the person that gave you the compliment, a lot of times they don't even know how to respond to that. And I'm going to share a personal story. My wonderful, wonderful friend, Wendy, at one point, I don't even remember what the compliment was, but she complimented me on something. And I came back with some remark of, yeah, that's whatever, that's ridiculous, or I don't know what I said. I didn't take the compliment. And she stopped me and she was like, take the compliment. I want to make you, like, I think this about you. Like, just take it and say thank you. And she probably doesn't know this, but I really had to take that in that moment, because I was like, whoa, most people would not confront me with that, which is why she's such an amazing friend. But she did. She said, why are you denying that? Like, you're taking that from me. I want to give you a compliment, and when you deny it, then you just kind of throw it back in my face. And although she didn't use those words, I realized that by not taking people's compliments, it was actually hurting them as well. And I think that I struggle with compliments just because I grew up in a home where we weren't very affirming of each other. Not in a bad way. We didn't give a lot of compliments. And so I grew up without it. So I didn't really feel like I needed it. But what I've realized as I've gotten older is that compliments are great. Like, why don't we accept them and take them? Even if you struggle to believe what the person is saying, or you don't believe them, say thank you. And try to sit with that feeling of that person was genuine and they gave me a compliment and I'm going to accept it. That can make a huge change for you as well. Okay, step 8. What you want to do is look at your behaviors and pick something you want to improve upon. Anytime we improve upon a behavior of ours or we reach a goal, it helps us feel better. So start small and pick something you don't like about yourself. For example, I might say, I feel like I am not productive in the mornings because I get distracted by X, Y, or Z. So from now on, I want to set myself a goal of getting up in the morning, making my bed, and sitting down and writing things on my to-do list. So if that's a goal of mine, because in past weeks, days, years, I haven't been able to stay consistent with that, it's a reachable goal. And by doing that, then I obviously have to be intentional about making that happen each day, setting my alarm, making my bed, sitting down, doing my list. When I do that every single day I feel more successful. I feel like I'm doing this. I can do that. And that belief of, oh my gosh, I can do this, builds up our self-worth. So start small, pick a behavior, make a change, and do that consistently. Again, new habit. So it does take some time, but once you feel like, okay, I've been doing this for a month every single day and I feel good about it, I'm in a rhythm, what other behavior do you want to change? And you just start one thing at a time. Before you know it, you're in a whole different world and you feel so much better about yourself. It could be a couple months down the road or a year, but you're moving down that street towards the goal that you're trying to reach. All right, step 10. Start having more meaningful conversations with other people. I don't know what your day in, day out looks like, but when you have deep, meaningful conversations, it can be really uplifting. And what you want to maybe focus on is finding a person or two to be more open with, to be more honest, to be more genuine, have in-depth conversations, reflect on things, have that level of emotional connection that also involves that mental aspect of maybe challenging each other or being very honest. And when you do that, what you should realize with the right person is that plays in your favor, because it does allow you a space where you can be true to yourself and also get insight and reflections from other people. And that alone creates a part of you that maybe you haven't experienced before. If you are more concerned with your self-image and you don't engage in conversations like that, you're missing out on a lot. So find someone that you trust, that you can start having some more meaningful conversations with, and reach out to them and start doing that. Last step, and this is only if you need it, but if these first 10 steps don't seem to be helping you very much, and you've been working at them for a couple months, maybe 2-3 months, and you still feel like you need assistance, then seek out a therapist. Therapists are very well versed in helping people with their self-worth and self-esteem. They can help keep you accountable, and they can maybe teach you some additional tools and things you can do to make you feel better about yourself. I promise you guys, this is going to do wonders for you. It does affect every aspect of your life, and it's going to not just make you feel better, but help you view the world around you in more of a positive way. Definitely keep me posted on how you're doing. If you like this video and you can relate to it, please feel free to share it or subscribe, and catch me on future podcasts.